first off, thank you guys for coming, and also congratulations for the three of you for making it on the podium here at Southwick. So, first and foremost,
cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, let's start with the winner, Jet. Had a great day. Tell us about your day a little bit.
Yeah, it started off pretty well. Qualifying this, it was funny. Kind of before I even went out, I already kind of had a flow in my mind. Really, you could say. Like I already felt like I knew the flow, and I went out and just flow with the track straight away. And I was kind of just having a lot of fun, and this was pretty amped to get into the in the racing because it looked like it was going to form up pretty gnarly, so I was excited for that and getting both really good starts. The second one had a really good reaction, but I got a bit excited and ended up coming across a bit too early, and I was in like at least more than half of the straight and the really soft stuff, so I ended up screwing myself a bit, but I cut under and was able to get another hole shot. I think that's the most hole shots I've ever gotten in a day or in my career being pro, so I'm pumped. And yeah, I just kind of gelled with the track today. Kind of just felt like a homer when I was in Lommel. Really, just kind of flowing, just trying to keep the bike light, and just having a good time.
Perfect. Joe, you're starting to get to be a local up here on the top of the. You're going to get a uniform violation if you don't get your hat on there. So you're getting to be a regular up here on the podium. So tell us about what your day is and how it went.
Was good. I mean, could have been a lot of things could be better, but yeah, I mean, overall, just riding wise, I have better speed going to every weekend now, but just bad starts. Some reason can't just fix it, so just have to keep working and working. I hope one day it'll be consistent.
And Justin, season started off a little slow, obviously, coming back from an injury, not being able to train and practice and work on your outdoor fitness, and then now here you are on the podium halfway through the race at round 6. So tell us how your journey went and how did today go?
Yeah, it's just the main thing with coming off an injury is you lose all that time where you're just sitting on the couch and you're not. With my situation, I couldn't really do much. I could only work out sitting down. So that was the tough part, and just coming back to racing, it was tough to get back into the flow of things. It was a while for me, and no excuses. I got up front pretty quick, but just wasn't really. I was away from the sport for a little bit, so it took a while for it to come back and feel normal. So I think we're at the point in this season where we're making strides to be up here every weekend and just battle with these guys again. It's definitely been an up and down year so far, and just trying to smooth it out a little bit and just have fun battling up front.
And Jet, what was the deal with that start? I watched you. You got shot out of a rock cannon. You were way out and it looked like it almost surprised you, and something happened about 10 bike lengths out of the gate. You had a clear hole shot and then went sideways from there, but you're able to salvage it. But tell us what happened.
Yeah, I was talking to Joe after in the little tent behind the podium. I'm like, did you flinch or something? Because like I swear something moved that kind of made me flinch, and when I kind of released the clutch a little bit, I seen the gate actually drop. So I just kind of stayed committed and was just. I don't think if you asked me to do it again, I bet you $100 I couldn't. So I ended up getting got a really good jump. Like, yeah, sweet, but because I surprised myself a little bit, I was a smidge off balance. I'm like, well, I at least better stay committed with it. So and I started going a bit right, but Justin he got out and stayed in that right, and that's why it's a very important thing to your practice start's so important to get a good jump and stay straight, because in the actual start, it's very important to stay in that right because it's just not as soft, where I end up getting out of it because I got a bit excited and just ended up kind of pulling back past me. But I was able to kind of cut under in the first turn and kind of remake that position back, you could almost say, and then it was kind of not smooth sailing from there, but it was definitely nice not to get roosted on the first lap.
Did you flinch?
Did you flinch,
Joe?
I was right by. I saw everything. There's no way human can react to the gate that fast. He has to time it or something happened because it was literally perfect. perfect gate drop ever. So.
Yeah, I think if all of us watch that
Like
again, I actually
it.
saw it. I saw it live, and I was surprised too. So, you youngsters, do you guys realize this is the track that had the very first AMA National, the first backwards starting gate ever? It was right here in this track.
How does a backwards start gate work?
Well, that's what this starting gate is it works backwards. The old days.
So you have no break.
No,
on the
the
right
old
turn?
starting
No.
gates used to go forward, man, and you don't. This was where it was invented.
no, he's talking about the gate.
The
Of
starting
gate falling
gate,
backwards.
individual.
The gate used to go that way. Stupid.
No, the individual starting gate. Each one is
He's not
back,
talking
and it
about the back braking.
Yeah.
Idiot.
These two
There's
guys.
multiple turns that went right before
Yeah.
this.
Okay.
All right,
Chillax,
We'll
boy.
switch gears. We'll switch gears. All right, so we did ask for some questions from other people around the world. Here's one from, this is to Joe. Mitch said that you work a lot with training sessions, and so why are you in the front now? What has changed so much for your training program?
Well, secret.
That's a good answer. If you told us, you'd have to, never mind. Okay. So, bike setup. Justin, do you change your bike for Southwick compared to other tracks, say Hangtown or Redbud?
Yeah, I think we've been trying to make bike changes since the first round. So, yeah, I think a lot of people have noticed the bike changes that we've tried to make, and yeah, it's a work in progress. We're just trying to make strides to to make the bike fit me a little bit better. So the team's definitely working hard and been supportive there. So it's exciting to keep working on the bike and working on myself, and trying to be more competitive up front.
Very good. So, questions from our journalists that are here. Okay.
Mitch Kendra from Racer X. So Joe, you kind of mentioned like almost slowing down a little bit to go faster. When you're catching up to Jet in that first moto and you're kind of like, you're almost in the no man's land a little bit, is it tough for you to like stay focused, but then you started to catch him, were you trying not to like override it and make a mistake? Like where's your mindset? Are you kind of like not giving up, but were you settling in a little bit to, make sure you finished second, you didn't make a big mistake?
Yeah, like this type of track, blowing through the berms, I think won't help you much. So yeah, like I'm trying to do like at Redbud, slow down a little bit to go faster. Yeah, it's usable here too. And yeah, the first moto, I had a really good pace to the end, but last 3 lap I got stuck behind some couple lappers, and that honestly that got me a little bit tired. So just have to keep working.
And then Justin, obviously you missed the time with the injury. You're usually a really good starter. Is that kind of help on a day like today where, maybe you're a little bit off the pace, but you're still up front? So does that just kind of help you have a little bit of clear track and clear mind? You can kind of get into a groove instead of tightening up, being later, back in the pack?
Yeah, I don't think anyone is against getting good starts. That's always helpful out there. And this weekend we got 2. Last weekend we didn't get any. So, or we got 1. We had a first lap crash. So it was nice to not be eating roost the whole 35 minutes this weekend, and yeah, just being up front battling. That's what I'm going to learn from, and that's what I can take into the week and work on.
And then for all 3 of you guys with 450s going first, the second moto for you guys is probably pretty beat track. Did you guys notice a big difference there, or was it just a little bit of lines differently formed up from the guys before you?
Yeah, I think this is not the one you want to go second at, especially after the 450s. They dig the track out. They make the lines like a lot deeper, and they chew it out a lot quicker than we do. So it's very noticeable, and especially here, yeah.
Yeah, it's sand track's not the funnest to go after 450s, and in sand their lines are so much different to ours. For a 250, we're trying to carry as much speed as we can in and around turns, and for them they come in kind of just point, shoot, and go. So it like kind of creates a real massive hook. Where for us 250s, we're like off the back clutching it, trying to get out of the sand. So it's definitely made it difficult for sure.
Yeah, it's difficult for sure. To be honest, this track, or this year, on this track, I think the sand was deeper to me. Last year, it was more flat. What?
Just 2, like only 2 deeper.
Yeah, it's my.
Keep going.
Yeah, I just thought it was deeper than last year.
So which track so far of the first 6 have you found the most difficult, and physically and technique-wise?
I think we could all say for this one, it was
Yeah,
for
it's,
sure.
it's this one.
It beat you up for sure.
So Jet, your formidable years of riding, you were living in Europe, based in Belgium, riding Lommel with the world's best sand riders. So do you feel like that's an advantage for you, that growing up against, I mean, every day you probably saw everybody from Hurlings to Caroli to whoever was based near the Lommel tracks, and you got to ride with those guys. Do you feel like that's an advantage for you?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's so hard. Like, the biggest thing is it's still such different sand in a way. In Europe, the sand is a lot bigger grain. It's a lot heavier, so you can hit it and your bike won't go through it as much. Where over here, if you hit if you come in a turn hot and bury the bike, you're most likely to completely destroy the turn. So it's such different sand to Europe, but there's so many more things that you can take away from Europe. Like, I was riding on since like 85s there, and I had at Lommel, I seen Jeffrey a lot riding there. Max Anstey, he's a really good sand rider. Like you said, Antonio Caroli. So as a young kid, you can, especially watching them, you can just pick up so much small things and so much information from it. And them being nice guys, they were able to kind of help a little bit every now and then, or kind of say like, yeah, you're on the same path as I was when I was younger. So it was nice to have that as your backyard in Europe for sure.
Very good. Justin, you grew up not too far in New York from here. How often did you ride here at Southwick?
Yeah, you know what? I'm like 3 hours from here, and I've probably ridden here once, like before I went pro. So just, never, I don't know why, never made the trip over here. Probably should have a little bit more, but I think the only time I rode here was on 50s or 65s. So yeah, didn't get much time. It was like my first appearance here when I first came here.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. So no question, Southwick, depending on weather, to answer your question, Jet, I mean, this track can change so much depending on how much rain it's had before or after. Last few years, Eli was mentioning earlier how different the track seemed to him, because the last few times that we've been here, we've either had a big storm right before or a big storm right after or the day of. So the track was quite different even for the 450 riders who rode it quite often, so, or have ridden it many times. So it answers that a little bit of that too. So.
Wait, was that a question?
No, I guess it was more of a, when you were talking about it, no question,
okay.
the dirt's so much different. So no, it wasn't. So I mean, you've ridden it now twice, so you know. So what else, Joe? What do you have to say about your day other than that? Was it a letdown coming off of a win last week, or is it still pretty?
No, still feels good.
Very good.
I feel like I'm making improvements, so just have to keep doing it.
And Jet, red plate going back on the bike. You gotta love that.
I mean, the bike definitely looked a bit weird. I mean, number 1 plate with no red background looks kind of weird for sure. I don't like it. Looks a little weird, but yeah. I mean, I wish I could have like earned it back a little bit better. You know, I kind of had just not the best day of getting cross jumped again. Almost similar thing to what I had last year by another Husqvarna, so it kind of sucks. But yeah, and he didn't looks a bit like me now with the chipped tooth. It's kind of funny calling him Lloyd, but it's nice to have it back. Like you said, it's nice to have it back, but I just wish I could have earned it back in a bit of a different way, more of a challenge with him being up there, and that stuff would have been nicer. But it's good to have it back.
So your brother has a chipped tooth.
Yeah, he looks like a bit like Lloyd now. It's pretty funny. It's massive. It's good.
Oh no. All right. Well, thank you guys very much, and congratulations for your top 3, each one of you, and hope to see you up here again soon.
Thanks.
Thank you.